Imagine for a second that you are standing on a dock, just watching the absolute destruction of your entire life.
Oh, wow. Okay. Starting heavy.
Right. But seriously, picture it. You're a wealthy merchant, and out there, crashing against the rocks, is your ship.
Your entire livelihood.
Exactly. Every single thing you own, your life's work, your wealth, your whole future is just splintering into pieces and sinking to the bottom of the sea.
I mean, I would be completely devastated.
And most of us would break down. We would fall to our knees and scream at the sky. But the man who actually experienced this, he didn't.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Instead of letting this disaster crush him, he used it to build like this mental framework. It would eventually be adopted by everyone, from enslaved people to Roman emperors, to become completely unbreakable.
That is wild.
Welcome to the Missing Lessons, where we explain what school never did.
And today we're taking a deep dive into this ancient operating system, right?
Yes, because today, we are constantly overwhelmed. We have anxiety, algorithms, and just all these things outside our control. Understanding this framework is basically the ultimate hack to becoming unstoppable in modern life.
But wait, let me push back a bit here. Isn't this philosophy just about, suppressing your feelings, like
Yeah.
acting like a cold, unfeeling robot?
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is the biggest misconception. It is actually the exact opposite.
Really? How so?
It's about experiencing life fully, but without being a victim of your knee-jerk emotional reactions. You don't suppress the emotion, you just don't let it drive the car.
Got it. Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying the Missing Lessons, make sure to follow the podcast, leave a rating, and share it with someone who might find it interesting. It helps us create more episodes and reach more curious minds.
So to become truly unstoppable, you first have to understand the fundamental rule of the game of life. You have to separate what is you from what is not you.
Okay, that sounds simple, but I'm guessing it's actually really hard.
Oh, it is. The universe operates on this predictable order, right? But our human anxiety comes from trying to control things that are entirely outside our reach. It's called the dichotomy of control.
So how do we actually separate them?
Well, think of life as 3 concentric circles, like a bullseye. The inner circle is total control.
Like your thoughts and your actions.
Exactly. Your thoughts, your effort, your chosen values. That is the only place you have absolute power. Then you step out to the middle circle.
Which is what? Influence.
Right. Influence, but not control. This is the outcome of a project, or, how other people respond to you.
Like you can eat perfectly healthy and still catch a cold.
Spot on. You have a say, but not the final word. And then there's the outer circle, zero control.
The weather, traffic, the economy.
Yeah. And the algorithm? Let's say you upload a video or submit a massive school project. You control the research and the effort. That's your inner circle.
But you don't control if the teacher's in a terrible mood that day.
Right. Or if the algorithm buries your video.
Yeah.
If you tie your self-worth to that outer circle, it is a guaranteed recipe for misery.
That is so true. What would you do in that situation? When you pour your heart into a project and it fails because of a stroke of bad luck, do you blame yourself or do you recognize it was in the outer circle?
It's a huge trap.
Drop a like and a comment on the video if you've ever felt crushed by something entirely out of your hands. We've all been there.
We really have. But once you stop worrying about the outer circle, you have to figure out how to handle it when it actively throws a disaster your way.
Because the disasters are definitely coming.
Always. And the trick here is you don't just accept the disaster. You actually learn to love it.
Okay, love a disaster. That sounds like a stretch.
I know, but it's this concept called amor fati, a love of fate. The idea is that an impediment to action actually advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way.
I think I need an example for that one.
Okay, let's use the rain analogy. Say you get caught in the rain without an umbrella.
Which is miserable.
It sucks, yeah. But you don't fall to your knees and burst into tears. Why? Because you expect rain. It's a natural part of life.
So we accept the weather, but we freak out when human nature happens.
Exactly. Why are we shocked when a car breaks down or a friend flakes on us? It's just the weather of life.
That's a really good way to put it.
And there's this technique you can use called the alternative narrative. It's great for everyday workers or students. Say you get passed over for a promotion, or you fail a big test.
The immediate reaction is usually, I'm a failure, my life is ruined.
Right, the amygdala just hijacks your brain. But this technique forces you to write down 3 entirely different interpretations of what just happened.
Like what?
Well, maybe you didn't get the promotion because you just dodged a terribly toxic management position that would have ruined your health.
Or maybe failing that test forces you to switch majors to something you actually care about.
Exactly. You disrupt the panic by finding a generous interpretation.
Which explanation do you find most convincing when something goes wrong? The worst case scenario or the generous interpretation? It's stuff to do in the moment.
It takes practice. And part of that practice is something they call the fate clause. When you set a goal, you add fate permitting. Like, I'll finish this project by Friday, fate permitting.
Wait, I have to challenge this. Isn't adding a fate clause just a built-in excuse for failure? Like you're giving yourself permission to slack off.
It sounds like that, but no. It's actually strategic realism. It keeps you fiercely committed to the action, but it releases your toxic attachment to the outcome.
So you still work incredibly hard, but if the market crashes, you don't lose your identity.
Exactly. You stay agile. But here's the thing. Knowing how to reframe thoughts is great in theory. In the heat of a crisis, the mind still panics.
Because adrenaline takes over.
Right. So to become unstoppable, you have to train your nervous system before the crisis hits.
Like running drills. How do you do that?
Through two powerful mental exercises. The first is voluntary discomfort.
Oh, this sounds fun. Not
Yeah, it's about intentionally exposing yourself to minor hardships. Taking cold showers, sleeping on the floor for a night, or, eating nothing but potatoes for a few days.
just to prove you can.
To break the shackles of modern comfort, it proves to your brain that you can survive adversity. When you realize the floor won't kill you, you stop living in terror of losing your comfortable bed.
Have you ever noticed this in your own life? How quickly you get used to a luxury and then complain when it's slightly downgraded? Like when the internet is a little slow?
We all do it.
Yeah.
Comfort actually makes us deeply fragile.
Okay, so what's the second exercise?
It's called cosmic insignificance therapy, or the view from above.
Cosmic insignificance. That sounds intense.
It's incredibly freeing. Let's say you get a highly critical, stressful email from your boss. Your whole world shrinks down to that screen.
Your heart rate spikes. You feel totally trapped.
Right. So you intentionally zoom out, you picture your room, then your city, then you view the Earth from orbit.
And you just keep zooming out.
To the moon, the solar system, the galaxy. You zoom out to the scale of billions of years and trillions of stars.
And suddenly that passive-aggressive email feels incredibly silly.
Exactly. It loses all its emotional power over you.
But if comfort isn't the goal, and we shouldn't care about external success, then what is the point of all this? What are we actually building here?
That is the ultimate question. The core truth of this philosophy is that your character, your virtue, is the only true good.
Everything else is just extra.
They call them preferred indifference. Wealth, health, a great reputation, they are nice to have, and it's fine to prefer them.
But they don't define a successful human life.
Right, because they can be taken away by things in the outer circle.
Yeah.
Character is the only thing that is entirely yours.
So what makes up this ultimate character?
4 pillars. Wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance.
Temperance is like self-control, right?
Yeah, doing more with less.
Mhm.
And it's the perfect defense against the fading pleasure inventory.
The fading pleasure inventory, what is that?
It's that psychological trap where you want a new phone or a car so badly, you finally get it, you unbox it, and a week later you just feel empty again.
Oh, absolutely. The thrill is totally gone.
But when you make decisions based on your identity instead of those outcomes, everything changes. Instead of making a pros and cons list for a tough career choice, you ask one question.
What's the question?
What kind of person do I want to become?
Would you have made the same decision? Like, if your reputation was totally destroyed tomorrow, but you knew you did the right thing, would you still be at peace?
That is the real test. And, this internal resilience doesn't just make you an unstoppable individual. It fundamentally alters human history.
Because it scales up.
Exactly. There's this concept of the concentric circles of concern. We all start with self-preservation. But a mature, unstoppable mind expands that circle to family, then community, and eventually all of humanity.
So it's not just a selfish self-help thing.
Not at all.
Yeah.
This operating system actually invented the concept of being a citizen of the world, a cosmopolitan.
That must have been a pretty radical idea back in the day.
It was revolutionary. Early practitioners insisted that women had the exact same natural inclination toward virtue as men. It broke down massive gender and class barriers.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Think about Nelson Mandela. He perfectly embodied this. He used his unjust imprisonment not to plot revenge, but to meticulously plan a better unified nation. He expanded his circle of concern to include the very people who locked him up.
It's amazing. And it's not just ancient history either. These exact principles are literally the foundation of modern cognitive behavioral therapies. They help millions of people today rewire their brains from toxic patterns into productive realities.
Exactly. So how can you actually start doing this today? I've got two actionable pieces of advice for you.
Let's hear them.
First is the morning self-command. Start your day by targeting a specific weakness.
Like, today I will not seek validation on social media.
Yes. Or, today I will speak my mind without apologizing, set the intention, and then there's the evening review.
Like a journal entry.
Sort of. But before bed, don't just list what went wrong. Pick one difficult event from the day and vividly imagine how much worse it could have gone if you hadn't kept your cool.
Oh, that's clever. It compounds your mental strength by showing you your own progress.
Exactly. It proves you're getting stronger.
Here's a question for you. What is one modern comfort you would be willing to give up for a week as voluntary discomfort to build your mental toughness? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
I might have to give up hot showers.
Oh, that's a tough one. Well, to wrap things up, we've covered a lot on this deep dive. We've learned to separate what we control from what we don't, to actually love the rain when it falls, and to zoom out into the cosmos to shrink our anxieties.
And to make decisions based on character rather than outcomes.
Which is huge.
It really is. And I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. True, unstoppable power isn't about forcing the world to bend to your will.
Right.
It is the quiet, unbreakable realization that even if your wealth, your comfort, and your reputation are entirely stripped away, your character remains completely untouched. You become truly unstoppable the exact moment you realize there's nothing the world can take from you that you actually need.
That is powerful.
If you enjoyed this episode of The Missing Lessons, don't forget to follow the podcast, leave a rating, and share with a friend. Your support helps us continue exploring the topics school never taught us.